Hello, and welcome back to the next session in this course. In this session, we're going to focus on the topic of online influencer marketing. Let's get started. So in this session, we're going to have two learning module concepts. In the first concept, we're going to help you understand what is influencer marketing, different terminology, and what makes it so powerful. Then in the second module concept, we're going to learn how you can find KOLs or online influencers and create a KOL media plan. That's what we want you to take away, is to know how to create the plan. All right, so let's get going. So in this first module concept, again, we're going to define what is online influencer marketing, different terminology, and what makes it so powerful. So this is where I like to ask the students, what do they think is an online influencer? Right? So in my definition, an online influencer is someone who has the power to affect purchase decisions of others, whether it's real or perceived. They have authority, knowledge, position, relationship with their followers. Other terms for online influencers are also called KOL, which is key opinion leader, or KOI, which is a key online influencer. Right? So what is influencer marketing then? Now we know what an online influencer is. What's an influencer marketer? So an influencer marketing is the practice of working with various online influencers or KOLs. And I'm going to keep the word KOL for the rest of the lecture. But you got to work with the KOLs to produce original content about a brand's product or their service. And then use the KOL's social platform to distribute that content to their followers. That's really what it is. We'll show you examples of this throughout this lecture. So, online influencer marketing is the fastest area of growth inside of digital marketing. And there's a few main reasons for this, and we'll just go through these. All right? The first, influencers have a strong following, and people like them. It's almost like a friend, all right? So think about if you have 5,000 or 500 friends on Facebook. When you say things, right, your friends listen. Paid advertising from a brand is the opposite, right? It's not a friend, at least not in the beginning. Just ask for their business and it may not have any impact. So that's the first reason why it's growing. The second reason is once an influencer promotes a product, there's a good chance that it can go viral, right? Their friends see it. They tell their friends, so on and so forth. And last, if you can give a genuine review or get a genuine review of your product or service, right, then there's a strong what we call social proof. It has to be genuine, and that's one of the keys. So these are the main reasons why online influencer marketing is growing so quickly, right? What's also important to realize, right, is you don't have to be an influencer, a large influencer, right, to really drive engagement. So I just want to show you here. As you can see, the smaller the audience, which is on the left-hand side, the higher the engagement rate, meaning that their followers are more engaged. Smaller communities, quality of influence, and the power they have over their followers can be much higher. So big isn't always better. And we're going to review a short video on macro and micro influencers shortly. All right, here we go then. So I'm going to introduce you two types of online influencers, two main categories. Right? The first is what we call known influencers. These are people who already, are famous. They may be an actor or sports star. And they typically have very large followings and are also very expensive. So what else can you do? There's other groups who are known as micro-influencers. And these are people who didn't start out famous. They built up a following over time, whether on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube. All right? And they did it by posting content that people like. And their fans would just grow. They typically have a small following, maybe 1,000 followers. However, they could have as high as 1 million, right? And there's many micro-influencers that started small and then grew to over 1 million or 2 million, particularly in Thailand. And they always have passion around a specific topic, whether it's food, travel, fashion, wellness, and more. So these are micro-influencers. And these are the top categories of micro-influencers. All right? I'm sure many of you are following influencers in these categories. And think about yourself. What influencers do you follow? So modeling, fitness, pets. I know in Thailand people love their pets. Beauty. So many beauty bloggers and fashion, particularly on Instagram. So just think about your own behavior. And to do that, I wanted to give you a few examples. And these are people close to me. So these are different people that I know. And I wanted to show you who they follow online. So Alicia, she's my sister-in-law. She's 40 years old. She lives in Washington State. And these are some of the influencers who she follows. So on the known influencers, or macro, she follows Kristen Bell. Some of you may know her, and I'll show you a video of hers shortly. She also follows different types of activities in the micro-influencer space. So passion and interest groups. Okay. Perhaps we should all follow some of these, body positive, sustainable, development goals, intuitive eating, etc. Right? So known influencers, micro-influencers. Here's a typical person. Oh, someone else. Here's my son. So it's all age groups who follow influencers. He's 15 years old, lives in Bangkok. For known influencers, he follows The Rock. All right? I'm sure you all know The Rock. He's got a lot of great inspirational stuff. And from micro-influencers, he loves golf. So he follows lots of sort of golf influencers or content creators, such as Golf Sidekick, Golfaholics, and more. All right. So now I wanted to take a look at some actual influencers. So let's go through this. I'm going to start from the very high level, worldwide, right? So these are the top global Facebook influencers. Sports obviously is very strong. It's more on the European side. You can see some of the top three are all in the sports space. In terms of YouTube global influencers, music makes sense because people can listen and watch videos. It's the new MTV. It is where people watch videos. And that's why the top, Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, etc. What about Thailand? All right. So these are the top globally ranked KOLs in Thailand. So again, it's around entertainment, fashion and beauty, as we mentioned earlier. Very popular in Thailand. These are some of the top ranked categories. All right, I wanted to show you a few videos, examples of some of the work that known influencers or macro influencers are having. So this is an example of David Beckham. And look at how he was hired by Tudor Watches, but look how he integrates the brand into this story. And again, it starts with good content.
First time that I was given the captain's armband. When you play for your country, it's a feeling that's very hard to explain unless you've done it. It's the proudest moment that I will ever have as a footballer. I get goosebumps now. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
See, and then he brings the brand in at the end. So it's something very personal, good content. Let's look at another example. So David Beckham got together with all his friends and they created their own influencer app. Let's take a look.
Ready?
Right, you me coming like a dynamite. Like a dynamite. Right, you me coming like a dynamite.
Otro.
Dem a DB, right? Dem a DB, right?
Love when the girl them drop it like it's hot.
Otro. One, two, three, let's go. Them can't tell me, say me can't flow. Them can't tell me, say me can't flow. Them can't tell me, say me can't flow. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Them can't tell me, say me can't flow.
Otro.
Otro.
Even got the Zinedine Zidane at the very end. So all influencers that if you download their app, you get access to them. They sort of cut out the middleman. They cut out Facebook. Anyway, so let's take a look at a few others. Here's a famous known influencer, actress in the US called Kristen Bell. And you may know her. But I wanted to show you a few examples on how she promotes her new TV show. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, this is Kristen Bell, coming at you from an undisclosed location, but what you will see behind me is camera equipment. What? From the new Veronica Mars. And I want to invite you and a friend out to California. I will fly you out here, I will put you up, and you can come to the set on Veronica Mars and have lunch with me. And I will answer all of your questions about the series, except the whodunit. Then for dessert, we can see who can fit more marshmallows in their mouth. But full disclosure, I'm pretty good at it. For your chance to see what Mars Investigations really looks like, enter at omaze.com/Veronica Mars now. And the greatest part about it is every donation benefits the ACLU. So enter now, and I'll see you in Neptune.
She also has a lot of static posts. It's in a great way. She works with a lot of charities. So for charities, actually working with online influencers is a great way to get the word out. If negotiated correctly as well, they may not even have to pay. So, Kristen Bell is very active in this space, and she loves to do a lot of posts around her favorite charities. All right. So now we're going to talk about micro-influencers. I'm going to play this short video. This video does a great job at really presenting, what is a micro-influencer, how do they come about, and let's take a look.
The thing about micro-influencers is that they're a little bit more relatable. You feel like you can talk to them. It's more of like your friends and family type of following. It's someone with just a smaller, more intimate type of following.
Hey guys, it's Natasha from Forbes, and we've made it to the last episode of this season of The Business of Influence. This episode, we'll be focusing on micro-influencers. It's a term that's thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? And is this the future of social media influencers?
A micro-influencer, I would assume that's like a small YouTuber or Instagram celebrity.
Yeah, it's someone that has not millions of followers, but say 10,000, and they influence a small group that's connected to them.
I know a lot of people follow beauty-related blogs. If it's fashion-related, I'm totally in. If it's urban streetwear, count me in. I think a lot of people who have less followers are more excited about people contacting them for things.
I actually had no idea what a micro-influencer was until I got an email saying that I was a top 30 micro-influencer. I believe that everyone can be an influencer, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand the work behind it, and it's not just snapping pictures of your food. It's all about your aesthetic and your niche and what you really want to portray on social media.
I got into the influencer space kind of on accident. I've always had a love for photography. When I was on Instagram, I was pregnant. I ended up having my daughter shortly after, and I started sharing photos of her on Instagram. And I noticed that there was this huge community of other moms sharing photos of their kids as well, but also creating captions that I could relate to. Micro-influencer is sort of like a new buzzword. It's anybody from 5,000 followers on a social media platform to 100,000. I would definitely consider myself a micro-influencer.
I started blogging about 7 to 8 years ago, and it came out of a need to really market my own products and services. I believe micro-influencers receive more engagement because they come off as more relatable. Sometimes when you have a massive following, though there is nothing wrong with that, your followers can feel like they can't really be in touch with you. When you have a smaller following, more of a niche type of market, people feel like they can relate to you, that you'll reach out to them, and that you can be more of a connected type of community.
If you know you want to be an influencer and you're just starting out, I would say it's always better to focus on something. That way people really know when they start following you what you stand for, what your beliefs are, what you like, what you don't like. If you're all over the place, it becomes very hard to follow. However, you do want to be authentic to yourself.
I think that's one thing that sets micro-influencers apart from somebody that has 1 million followers is that I do read all of my messages. I respond the best that I can to everyone. If I'm promoting a product, let's say it's a high chair, and somebody reaches out to me like, hey, do you really like that high chair? I will give them an honest review. If I like it, what I don't like about it. And I feel like if you have an influencer that's, has 1 million followers, they're less likely to respond or have that time to respond.
Recently, I've been partnering up with Adidas and Finish Line. You'll see me on various emails for Finish Line, just for Adidas though. I do get the first of everything that Finish Line gets from Adidas. I get to try it out. I do my thing in front of the camera and then I post it and then they share it as well on their social channels.
We are doing so many micro-influencer campaigns for the brands that we work with because we are seeing incredible results and brands are realizing that they don't have to pay influencers $10,000 to do one post. They can do a campaign with 50 micro-influencers for the same price and now have enough content for their feed for the next few months and be able to reach even more people. And when you're working with these micro-influencers, they have this authentic connection to their followers and there's so much more trust there. Working with micro-influencers is becoming more and more important for brands and we're recommending it every single day.
Well, guys, that's it for this season. Hope you enjoyed watching and let us know where you think the future of social media influencers is headed.
So what I like about this is that they show you an example at the end of combining lots of micro-influencers together to really build out your content, right? So it's content as well. You can reuse the content many different ways. And we'll show you examples of that later. All right, so a great example of a micro-influencer in Thailand are content creators. And these are two content creators known as Picnically. It's a couple named Luke Cassidy and Tay. They've had their own channel in Thailand for about 5 years. They focus on travel, food, lifestyle, just fun. Two really great guys. They recently were awarded the YouTube Content Creators Award, and it's a sort of Creators for Change. They produce a lot of content that addresses human rights, equal rights for gay and lesbian couples, LGBT. And you can actually go and like their channel and see some of their content. And we're going to show you a few examples of that. So one of the projects that they worked on was for a brand called Muay Thai Life. And I'm showing you this example because it's a good way for you to understand how they can work a brand into their promotion. But they had a campaign called Love Has No Limits. MTL developed an insurance policy. It was essentially made for gay and lesbian couples. So what we did is we organized a group of 6 LGBT influencers. We collaborated with them. And we really wanted to help let them define what love means to them. And we wrapped it around the LGBT flag. So let's take a look at some of this video. I won't show the whole thing, but I'll show you some of it to get a sense.
ความรักที่แบบไม่มีเงื่อนไขรักก็คือรักอะนิยามความรักในวัย 28 นะคิดว่าเป็นเรื่องของความไม่อึดอัดการที่เอาใจใส่ซึ่งกันและกันค่ะแล้วก็มอบพลังบวกมอบสิ่งดีๆให้กันค่ะ
สวัสดีครับอยู่กับเต้นะครับเรากำลังจะมีเรื่องสนุกสำคัญมากนะครับเรื่องที่ทุกคนอยากรู้เรื่องความรักอยากรู้ว่าความรักของคุณเป็นยังไงนิยามความรักเป็นยังไงความรักเป็นอะไรที่แบบเราไม่เครียดทั้งสองฝ่ายต้องได้ความชอบต้องมีความสุขกันความรักคือแรงผลักดันในชีวิตเติบโตไปด้วยกันชีวิตคู่นะครับมันเป็นชีวิตที่ต้องใช้ความอดทนนะครับอดทนที่จะเข้าใจเขาอดทนอีกแล้ว
ก็คบกับผู้ชายคนหนึงอยู่นะคะประมาณ6 ปีแล้วสำหรับนั้นถือว่าเป็นความสัมพันธ์ที่ยาวที่สุดในชีวิตตอนนี้ค่ะคนอยู่ก็ได้กันหลายปีละ
สำหรับวินาแล้วเวลาที่เรารักใครแล้วเราเลือกเขาเป็นคนรักเราแล้ว เราคิดว่าเขาก็เป็นสิ่งที่ดีที่สุดสำหรับเรา แล้วเราก็คงดีที่สุดสำหรับเขาด้วยค่ะ
ตัวผู้ชายหลังนั้นก็ยอมรับว่าครั้งแรกอาจจะเป็นแบบเรียกลุก
I'm going to fast forward a bit towards the end so you can see how they bring the brand in.
พอเราได้เล่นเปลี่ยนการมีประกันเนี่ยเป็นเรื่องของคนที่ฉลาด
So the question is around insurance. Around
ที่จะซื้อ
insurance.
ประกันที่จะซื้อประกันแบบไหนครับ
Let's take a look.
แค่เราบอกว่าถูกต้อง
รักก็คือรักถ้ามันใช่มันก็คือใช่ค่ะ
ถ้าที่จะซื้อประกันที่จะซื้อประกันแบบไหนครับ
ซื้อประกันที่ดูแลความมั่นคงของครอบครัวก่อนเพราะว่ามันเป็นชีวิตคู่อะ
ไม่เครียดแล้วจะมีเงินที่แบบช่วยกันออมทรัพย์ได้ครับมีเงินที่จะช่วยกันทำธุรกิจด้วยกัน
ถ้าเป็นประกันนะคะอย่างแรกคือประกันสุขภาพค่ะตันเป็นคนเดินทางบ่อยมากๆสุขภาพมันก็หักโหมมากเพราะใช้ชีวิตแบบเต็มที่มาก
ตอนนี้โยก็อายุ22นะคะเพิ่งเรียนจบจากมหาวิทยาลัยก็อยากได้ประกันออมทรัพย์ถ้ามีประกันเนี่ยต่อเดือนแล้วก็มีเงินเก็บแน่นอนแล้วก็ส่งผลดีต่อไปในอนาคตของเราค่ะ
การมีประกันเนี่ยเป็นเรื่องของคนที่ฉลาดในการลงทุนซึ่งนันอยากจะมองหาประกันที่ควบคู่กับการลงทุนด้วยค่ะ
อยากซื้อประกันที่เกี่ยวกับเงินออมนะคะออมทรัพย์ตัวเองเป็นคนที่ช้อปปิ้งชอบช้อปปิ้งไปเที่ยวเงินออมนี่สำคัญมากๆเลยสำหรับวีนาค่ะ
สิ่งที่เมืองไทยประกันชีวิตทำเขาเห็นความสำคัญของครอบครัวอย่างเรา
บริการประกันสุขภาพแล้วก็บริการประกันชีวิตทุกรูปแบบความรักทุกรูปแบบชีวิตตอบโจทย์ทุกรูปแบบถ้าเมื่อไหร่ที่พร้อมที่จะชีวิตคู่นะครับคลิปนี้นะครับจะเป็นคลิปที่ให้ความสำคัญกับการใช้ชีวิตในเรื่องของการทำประกันชีวิต และประกันสุขภาพครับ
All right.
Bye-bye, Kyle.
So you can see how they brought the brand in at the end. And that's the challenge is how do you work brands into a content story? But I think they did a great job. All right. So one more concept around how to work with influencers and sort of the trend. And it's something that's called live commerce with online influencers. It's very popular in China. And what it does, it combines online influencers with live streaming and e-commerce. So let's take a look at this. It's emerging digital sales channel that's really exploding in China. Let's take a look.
欢迎大家来到我的直播间。
This is China's new concept for e-commerce plus entertainment. It's called Entertainment. It features live streams that are generating billions of dollars each year. China is home to more than 900 live streaming platforms and over 10 million active hosts. In 2017, they brought in more than $4.5 billion in revenue.
We're in Guangzhou. We're going to visit one of the top 5 multimedia companies in the city. It's tucked away in the basement of a commercial center. Let's go check it out. Hi-Fan may be a very small company with only 40 staff, but here they train and use star bloggers or key opinion leaders to help them sell products that are worth millions of dollars every year.
这件衣服今天折后价是10，来，我帮你算一下，数字完全不一
在
样。
哪里见过你？哇哦，欢迎我们的 Luisa！
悠悠你好。
Hello， 是你，是你，在哪里？每天的工作就是坐在这里化好妆，漂漂亮亮的坐在这里，然后就唱唱歌、跳跳舞，然后里面会有很多用户来看我们直播，我们就跟他们聊天，实时互动。
Users can sponsor the hosts by sending virtual gifts which can be exchanged for cash.
So as you can see, that's how it's done. It's fairly new in Thailand. Not many brands are doing it, but there's a lot of great opportunity. So just wanted to introduce that to you. All right, so this brings us to the end of this first concept. Now it's time for you guys to complete this short activity. So in this module concept, we introduce online influencer marketing. We gave a definition and many examples of how it's executed. So I want to test your knowledge and just need you to answer these questions for me. Be sure to download and then upload back again into Blackboard. Best of luck. Thanks. And now let's get started with the next module concept. In this module, we're going to present the process of how to build out the KOL media plan. This will provide a framework that you can use for your own business, your own company, or the company that you work for. KOLs can really help drive business, and let's show you how to create the plan. So the media planning framework for online influencers is very similar to traditional digital media planning that we learned in the Essentials class. The first thing you need to do is set the objective. And here are some of the typical objectives that you may have, and let's just go through them. So maybe a product or service launch. For example, a pizza company want to promote their new Choco Pizza. Content promotion. Maybe Nike wants to promote their new running app. Content creation. Maybe the brand has lots of content or they need content, so they can hire an online influencer to help them produce the content instead of them hiring their own content developers. An event. Maybe the Siam Icon, they just launched their new mall. Crisis management. Perhaps McDonald's, they want to let people know that their beef is real, so they can lose influencers to do that. And the last thing is it really helps with SEO, so search engine optimization. So working with KOLs gives you a lot of backlinks that can help your website, which in turn helps improve your rankings inside of Google. All right, so now let's go in and see some examples. So this is a great example of how an airline used KOL to launch their new service. And let's see where they went. They went to Amsterdam. So this is Air Canada, and they promoted their new route to Amsterdam. So they wrote, "Thanks to Air Canada for their amazing flight. I can't wait to do more exploring over the next few days." So you can see how they work the brand into the post. All right, so step 2. Once you define your objectives, then you need to define your ideal influencer profile. So the number one challenge for marketers when they're rolling out influencer marketing is really identifying the right influencer to work with. So to tailor the selection process, consider these 5 golden rules when you're evaluating potential influencers. First one, have a large and engaged audience. Relevant to your customers. Appear to be authentic. Active on social media. Have a tone and style that matches those of your brand. Right? For point 1 there, it's more about having the engaged audience. So those are the 5 rules. So here's a great example of a micro-influencer. They don't have a large group or followers, but a highly engaged audience. And again, this can be better for spreading the word. As you can see, they have around 14,000 followers, and this was how they promoted. So it was the Gap Philippines. She wrote, "When I saw this gorgeous poncho from Gap Philippines, I knew I had to nab it." So again, another great example of how influencer works. All right, so now that the profile of the influencer you're looking for, the next step is to create your list. So in this course, I'm going to present 2 ways you can go about doing this. Manual search, and then working with technology platforms. Let's first take a look at manual search. So the first manual process you have to consider is the hashtag research. So most all KOLs post using hashtags. So it's a great way that you can also find them. That's why they post with hashtags. It's also how you can find the KOLs that match the keywords that you're looking for. So for example, if you're an organic food company, you might have hashtags such as organic, hashtag organic food, healthy food, fresh food. So you need to create your list of keywords that are related to your product or service. Once you have your hashtag list, now you just go to Google search and you can start to find influencers. So you can see, type in hashtag organic food, and then you can look at the examples, and these are a few of them. So here's one listing that leads you into Instagram. And we'll show you their hashtags, their users that have posted with those hashtags. And here it is. So when we click on that link from Google for hashtag organic food, we're then led to the Instagram page where there's a list of many of the IG pages that rank the highest for hashtag organic food. All right, so these are some, and you can see there's this 829,000 posts. But then you can see this one in the bottom right-hand corner there. When I click on that, it comes to this page, Restoring Radiance. They have over 130,000 followers. So this could be a great ideal KOL to contact for organic food if you have that type of product or service. They could really get behind your product or service. All right, and now we're going to showcase a few tools that you can use for that hashtag research. I showed you how you can do it in Google, but you can also use a few of these tools. So Instagrub is one of them. Tag Finders is another one. And both of these tools will help you find KOLs. Last but not least, you can also put the hashtags directly into Facebook or Instagram themselves. They'll give you listings here. As you can see, when you type in hashtag organic food in Thai, it comes up with a lot of different listings. They're actually health and beauty. A lot of different health and beauty listings in Thailand, both on Facebook and Instagram. All right. So if you don't want to follow the manual process to find KOLs, then there's some great automated online platforms that you can use. Telscore. It's a Thai founding company, and they really had the vision to build out a KOL marketplace. They have around 20,000 influencers on their platform across 800 different categories. And they have an audience reach of over 45 million. So for a small fee, you can place your brief and then get a short list of KOL candidates. It's very cool. I highly suggest that you check it out. I want to share this video because they do a good job again at describing what is a KOL marketplace. This is a global site based out of India for the US, but for the USA market. So it's an Indian company but built for the USA market. Let's check it out.
In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can reach thousands of influencers, bloggers, and leads with Ninja Outreach, the very tool we've been using to quadruple our traffic and 10 times our signups. And Ninja Outreach is the perfect all-in-one marketing tool for content marketing, blogger outreach, and lead generation. Just type in your keyword and search through our database of millions of influencers in any niche and country. For example, here's a search for healthy food blogger. We show a ton of data, including the prospect's name, description, social profiles, contact information, SEO metrics, traffic, and engagement data. Now, you can save prospects to a list, which can be shared with team members, designated to clients, or exported. You can dive into each list and manage the relationship you have with each prospect by adding tags, notes, and relationship stages. And when you're ready for outreach, simply load your list and start sending emails automatically with your customized templates. And we track opens, clicks, and replies. So what are you waiting for? We have a live chat in the app, and we're looking forward to speaking with you.
All right. Okay. So really the best thing about micro-influencers is that in many cases, you don't have to pay anything. So this slide is about how to reward them. You don't have to pay, but however, you do need to barter with them or give them something. So provide them with your product or your service for free, if you can afford it. And the benefit of that is then they'll really value it and they'll tell all their fans about it, all right? So here's some examples here, but Get Perks, giving free stuff is a low cost way to do it. Okay, so now we've arrived to the most important part. the development of the KOL media plan. So this is where we need to calculate your total reach, engagement, and your engagement rates. So it's a process that's very similar to the traditional media plan that we learned in the Essentials class. But let me run through it. So again, step 1, determine your budget. I suggest maybe start with a budget of 100,000 baht. Step 2, determining the mix of KOL types. And I showed you that framework earlier. Step 3, plug the KOLs into a planning spreadsheet. And I'll show you a spreadsheet shortly that we provide with the activity. Step 4, understand the total potential reach. And again, I'll show you how to do that on the next slide. 5, estimate the potential reach without any boost post. I'll explain. Number 6, estimate the potential engagement without any boost post. Okay, and last, budget a top-up boost post. This is so important. And then adjust your total potential reach and engagement. So the boost post is the key to online influencer. And I'll show you how to calculate. If you do, work with influencers without boost posting, you won't have nearly the impact because Facebook limits your reach. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you a framework here, but for big budgets or big brands, it's a good idea to have a mix of influencers across different categories. So I'm going to show you an example of this. It's for a large fast food restaurant chain. And let's see how they layer different categories. So at the top, celebrity and mass. So these are the macro, known influencers that we talked about earlier. This will appeal to a mass market, which makes sense for food if you have reach throughout the entire country. Next category would be then food KOLs. Obviously, it's very relevant to the food category. They can give reviews, they can provide value to the followers. Obviously, people are looking for information about food. Last, lifestyle KOLs. Now, these are KOLs, they'll also appeal to a mass market as they talk about everyday life, which everyone cares about. All right, so in this campaign, you can see between these different categories, there's a total reach of 14.2 million followers with potential organic reach of 400 to 800,000. And I'll explain that when we go through the slide, organic reach versus paid. So the final step in the process, we're there, is to develop the KOL media plan. So you can plug in all your information into this spreadsheet. Okay, so the first information you want to fill in is the KOL name, their URL, and the platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. All right, then you need to fill in the followers. You can look right on their page, how many they have on their social media account. For the cost, all right, this is just an example there. But typically this is about what influencers, micro-influencers would cost. From 37 to 100,000 baht. And then from there, you calculate the organic reach. So what I assume is you're going to get around 5% organic reach. So if you have 16 million total potential followers, 5% will give you around 827,000 people. That's how you calculate organic reach. So if you don't boost post, this would be the plan, and your overall cost per reach, cost per organic reach is 0.66 baht. All right, so this is about 5 times more expensive than paid ads. So the key is to boost post. This is the next thing, all right? So the next thing you need to do is add the budgets for the boost post. And you see here I put 20,000 baht for each KOL. If there's an average cost per reach around, for paid media on Facebook of 0.1 baht, this gives you an additional reach of 2.2 million people. So now the total reach is over 3 million. So we significantly improve the reach. And more importantly, then we also brought the cost per reach down to 0.25 baht. So you can see how important it is to boost post, because the cost per reach will reduce greatly, in this example, by 3 times. Also allows you to reach many more of the KOL's followers. You want to try to reach all of them. Boost post lets you do that. And this brings us to the end of this concept. Now it's time for you to put together your own KOL plan. So what I want you to do is find 10 micro influencers for your business using the tools that I taught you just now in this module. Show how the micro influencer is relevant to your brand. Then plug in the KOLs into the media plan. There's a spreadsheet that you can download. And make sure that you show the following, okay? Potential reach, estimated engagement, cost per reach, and cost per engagement. You're not going to know the price, so just make up the price. Everything else you should be able to calculate using the spreadsheet. And there you go. Best of luck. Download it. Make sure you upload it back into Blackboard so you can get credit for this assignment. Thank you so much.